Once again, welcome back to JT on the Go. Today we're going to check out the British museums. Now I'd like to give you a warning. There's a lot of things to see in this museum, so I'm only going to cover the highlights. So let's get started.
If you are taking the train to get to the British Museum on the Underground, take either the Central Line or Piccadilly Line to Holborn. The British Museum is an 8-minute walk away from the Holborn Underground stop. Here it is. This place is huge. The first room I came across by this entrance talks about the past, present, and future of this museum. Here is a model of the museum. The entire British Museum is 990,000 square feet. I'll say why this place is so huge in a bit, but while I was here, I did not film in every single room. I selected a few to film at random. The general admission into the British Museum is free. However, I recommend to book a timed ticket entry in advance to guarantee entry and receive priority on the www.britishmuseum.org website. The best times to visit the British Museum are from 10 o'clock a.m., the time it opens, to 11 o'clock a.m., and also in the late afternoon after 4 o'clock p.m. Here is a map of all the different sections. There are a total of 3 floors. Weekdays are generally less crowded than the weekends. I recommend downloading the British Museum audio app on your mobile phone to get an audio guide. The reason why the British Museum is so huge is because it holds a vast collection of human history, art, and culture, with over 8 million objects from all over the world, specifically countries that used to be British colonies. So I made a random selection of what region to go see first, and I randomly chose the Middle East. Britain colonized most of the Middle East after the Ottoman Empire was defeated in World War I and became Turkey. The artifacts that you would see in the Middle East section more than likely came from countries like Iraq, Yemen, Oman, Jordan, and Palestine. All of the British colonies in the Middle East became independent between 1930 and the late 1970s. So now we're in a section that contains treasures from Italy, specifically treasures of the Roman Empire. There are also artifacts from ancient Greece here too. Wow, look at this. This is a real skeleton of a dead body. Next up are the artifacts from ancient Egypt. Egypt was also a British colony, and it gained independence on February 28, 1922. You'll find artifacts from the Egypt we think of, which are thousands of years old. Egyptian art specifically had a purpose, and it was to placate the gods. Here is a man who died more than 5,500 years ago. Much of the art in ancient Egypt was for dead people, specifically Egyptian myths of a smoother departure and a happier afterlife. Corpses were mummified, all the internal organs except for the heart were removed and placed in jars. The body was later preserved with pitch, dried, and wrapped from head to toe. The wooden coffin was also painted with magic spells and images that were thought to be useful in the next life. For this next section we're in, I think it's artifacts from Greece, which is not a colony of Britain. A lot of the art here is in glass boxes to prevent tourists from touching them. Very few artifacts are in the open, but you cannot touch them. In this specific box are some plates, including this plate with the German swastika used by the Nazis on it. Now we're crossing some more Roman artifacts. Now we're in a room holding coin artifacts, or money artifacts. The British Museum also has artifacts from Asia too. By now, the section I wanted to see the most was the Africa section, but look, we came full circle. It looks like this room has some clock mechanisms. Man, look how shiny all these gold treasures are. Look at this. If you look closely, the ball is moving zigzag. The Africa section is the last piece we'll see in the museum. We're entering a larger room with larger artifacts from ancient Egypt. This is a stone sarcophagus. This is where a finely decorated coffin was put in a tomb. The Great Pyramids in Egypt, one of the world's most famous landmarks, are giant tombs for Egypt's most powerful. This is the greatest collection of Egyptian art outside of Egypt. Somewhere in this room, you'll find the Rosetta Stone. I did not find it, but it provided the breakthrough in deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. It was found in 1799 and has 3 languages on it: Greek, a modern form of Egyptian, and Ancient Egyptian. Now it's time to head to the Africa section. We're in the centerpiece of the British Museum, the Great Court, which is one of many impressive examples of Europe's knack for preserving and making old agricultural spaces fresh, functional, and inviting. The reason why I remember where the Africa section was is because all the Africa treasures have their own space on the bottom floor. The other regions are mixed in with each other. Here we are. I honestly think these are my favorite artifacts of all the ones that I've come across. When you come here on a very cold day like I did, you'll start getting very warm here because the museum is trying to keep these artifacts at the temperature they were in when they were created. The region these artifacts come from is Sub-Saharan Africa, which is all of the African region south of the Sahara Desert. In a single morning, you can learn about 3 great civilizations in a single day here, but you can also visit treasures from lands that were all once a vast empire ruled by London. The place that takes the center of the British Museum is the Queen Elizabeth II Great Court, which used to be the home of the museum's library and department of the King's Library. It was then redeveloped and reopened in December of 2000 and was named in Queen Elizabeth II's honor. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again. The British Museum is the chronicle of Western civilization and is worth visiting to learn about great civilizations and former British colonies. Thanks for watching.